Okay, guys, so it's our very last lesson of the year. Congratulations, you made it to the end of Algebra 1. Our very last lesson is in preparation for geometry next year, and it's lesson 10.3, triangle sum theorem. So we're going to learn our very first thing about triangles. Well, we did learn the Pythagorean theorem last week, which was how to find a missing side, only of a right triangle though. Today, we're going to learn a theorem that has to do with all triangles. It applies to every single triangle you'll ever know. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what the triangle sum theorem states. First, the sum, okay, hold on, sorry, trying to use a highlighter, not quite working. The sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So degrees is like that little circle there you see after the 180, and that's how we measure angles in geometry. We measure them using an instrument called a protractor. And you can see the angles here are highlighted in red, green, and blue. A triangle has 3 angles just like it has 3 sides. Okay, so if I wanted to add all 3 of those angles, angles A, B, and C together, they should always add up to 180 no matter what kind of triangle it is. It could be a right triangle, an isosceles triangle, an acute triangle, an obtuse triangle. It could be any of those things, but all 3 angles should always add up to 180. And please note the use of this symbol here in front of each of them that stands for angle. Okay? And we name them using letters. So let's go ahead and go down and look at an example. Our first example is pretty simple. Find the measure of the third angle of this triangle. If we know one of the angles is 66 degrees and the other angle is 37, what would the remaining angle be? Angle Q. Okay, so we're going to add those two together. So 66 plus 37 together is 103 degrees. So the total, all 3 of them should be 180. So if we take 180 and minus 103, the sum of the first 2 angles, we get the remaining, which would be 77 degrees. That is the measure of that missing angle. And of course, double check your answer. Add all 3 of those angles together, 77 plus 66 plus 37, and see that they add up to 180 degrees. All right, let's look at another one. This time you'll notice that we're using variables. This is where the algebra comes in. We are going to write an equation to help us solve this. Okay, so let's start with 3x is one of the angles plus another angle, which is x, plus the third angle, which is x plus 40, and altogether, remember, they should equal 180 degrees. Notice I didn't put the degree symbol because we are actually just using this equation to solve for x. So let's go ahead and start solving. So I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to combine any like terms on the left side. So you'll notice all of these are x's, so I can add them all together. 3x plus 1x plus 1x is 5x. We still have the plus 40 on the left and the 180 on the right. Now to solve for x, we are going to subtract the 40 on the left so that it goes away because 40 minus 40 is 0. But if I do it on the left, I need to also do it on the right. So now we've got 5x equals 140. And then we divide by 5 to get rid of the 5 in front of the x because 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we have found that x is equal to 28. Now, the thing about that is that is not an angle. X is just x. We have to plug it back in to find each of the angles. So we're going to start off by doing that with angle R. Please note that angle R is represented by 3x. So that really means 3 times x. And we know what x is. So 3 times 28. I just replaced the x with 28 because we have found out that x was 28, remember? So 28 times 3 is 84. So that angle is 84 degrees, angle R, the one that is highlighted. Now let's find the measure of angle S. That one's really easy because angle S is just x, and we already know what x is, 28. So angle S, super easy, 28 degrees. Last but not least, we're trying to find angle T, which is right here. Okay, and angle T is x plus 40. So we're replacing that x with 28. So it's 28 plus 40, which gives us a total of 68 degrees. Now remember, all angles should add up to 180 degrees. So take a moment to add all of those together to see if they actually equal 180 degrees. I just verified it myself in my calculator that those three angles do add up to 180. Please note when you're looking at these, that M in the front of each of them means measure. It's just asking you for the measure of that angle. The measure of angle R is 84 degrees, the measure of angle S is 28 degrees, and the measure of angle T is 68 degrees. We found X, but that was not the only thing we needed to do. Okay, so let's look at our last example. What I'd like you to do, since it is so similar, is I want you to try to set up the equation on your own first. Just like we did in the previous problem. Remember how we added them all together to equal 180? I want you to try and do that now with this example, okay? Keep in mind that right angles, where that box is, right here, that box means 90 degrees. We already know the measure of angle K, it's 90 degrees. We need to find the measure of angle J and L. So please try to create an equation. Pause the video, try to write out your equation, and then unpause it to see if you are correct. Hopefully you are checking to see if your equation is correct. Now remember, it doesn't matter which order you put them in. You can see the first angle 3x plus 2 I put here, angle J I put first. You did not have to put angle J first, but I did. 2x plus 3, that's angle L. And then the 90 degrees is angle K, and I'm adding all three of those angles together. You may actually want to start each one by saying angle L plus, and actually I'm going to put in the order I did it to make it easier. I did angle J first. Angle J plus angle L plus angle K equals 180. Sometimes writing that out first helps, and then plug in the three things that you know. Now let's start actually solving, shall we? Combine all the things that on the left that you can. So combine my x's, 3x plus 2x is 5x. Now combine our constants. We have 2 plus 3 plus 90 is 95. Now remember, we're solving for x, right? So we need to get rid of that 95 there. So since it's a plus, we're going to minus. 95 minus 95 is 0. So we have 5x equals 85. And we're going to divide both sides by 5 to get that x is equal to 17. Now that is important. Sometimes we're going to ask you to just find x, but remember I also need to find out what the measures of the angles are. I know that angle K is 90 degrees, but I don't know what J and L are, so we have to plug 17 in for x to find those. So take a moment to try it on your own. Pause the video. Okay, you can see that to find angle J, we use the formula, and I'm going to kind of highlight over here so you can see which one I'm referring to. I'm using angle J, I highlighted it in green as 3x plus 2. So I replace the x with 17, okay, because we found out that x is 17. So 3 times 17 plus 2 gave us 53 degrees. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the other angle that we don't know, which was angle L, which was 2x plus 3. I replaced the x with 17. And then 2 times 17 plus 3 gave us the angle of 37. And remember, you should always go back and check to see that all your angles add up to 180. So 53 plus 37 plus the 90-degree angle, angle K, do add up to 180 degrees. So by knowing the triangle sum theorem, we can solve for x. We can find missing angles, angles that we do not know. This is useful in a lot of things outside of the classroom as far as architecture and engineering. We need to make sure that angles are very precise measures. And if you know 2 of the angles, we should always be able to find the third, no matter what size the triangle is. Okay? There's lots of different applications outside of the classroom for this theorem. If you have any questions about it, make sure to let your teacher know. And I have tutoring every morning this week at 8 a.m. in room 8310. Okay, I don't have tutoring on Wednesday morning because of a meeting, but every other morning I will be there at 8 a.m. in room 8310. I hope to see you there and have a great day, guys.